Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton. I am the Inventor Lady and also President and CEO of Archimedes Offspring. We are here in Utah for the holiday, and I get to spend it with my boys. Hey, boys, how are you? I love you so much. They're upstairs trying to be quiet. It's tough when you are 6 and basically 9. So anyway, considering it is the eve of Thanksgiving, I thought it would be fun to pay a little bit of tribute to our founding fathers and the people who struggled to create a civilization for us. We want to talk a little bit about how intellectual property had its founding in the United States, but intellectual property was recognized long before people landed here in this country. So for instance, all right, Archimedes was considered the most famous inventor in Western civilization, hence the name Archimedes Offspring. We're proud of our heritage. And then, back as far as the 1300s, inventors' rights were granted to them, and they were acknowledged. So the beginnings of intellectual property, the way we know intellectual property, patents, was back part of the ancient Greek civilization. Then came up through, the Europes, and the Europes. When I say that, I mean, you know what I mean, all of Western Europe. In England, specifically, all right, 1331 was John Kemp. There were patents granted pretty systematically in Venice, up through the 1450s and beyond. This led to the patent system that we now know in countries all over the world. The patent system has been pretty much consolidated into, the review. WIPO is the International Patent Office, WIPO. The World Intellectual Property Office is what the acronym stands for. And everyone, pretty much all of the countries, work with that entity. So patents are not just the US, but we've got a unique piece there. So the English patent system, and forgive me for reading, but this is not my normal that I've done it a whole bunch of times. By the time I do this again, a year from now, I'll have it down. But the English patent system eventually is what became recognized as intellectual property. And the foundation of this particular phrasing was what really the Industrial Revolution was based on, and what allowed it to flourish. All right. In the original 13 colonies, and this is where it becomes now more unique to the US, the 13 colonies obviously followed the ways of England, and each colony could grant then that inventor the rights to that intellectual property. Samuel Winslow, all right, was granted the first patent in North America in 1641. This is about the time my ancestors were arriving on this continent in Massachusetts. He was in Massachusetts. Imagine that. Love Massachusetts. The first patent in the United States was granted right after the Constitution. All right. And we are fortunate, and this is what makes us unique, is that in our Constitution, all right, our forefathers actually granted us the right, all right, under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. And you can go look this up, and I'm going to read you this part. All right. It grants Congress the power to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for a limited time, all right, to authors and inventors the exclusive rights to their respective writings and discoveries. All right. First one then went to Samuel Hopkins. All right. He was in Pennsylvania at the time, and granted in July 31st, 1790, the first patent in America, signed by George Washington. How cool is that? I'm sure the family is more impressed by the fact that George Washington's signature is on it than whatever it was that the patent was for. But that's kind of cool. I like that. Some of the other patents, and this was on potash, all right, which is used in fertilizer. Well, of course, they had to grow things back then. The other ones, the next one was dealing with the making of candles. Well, you had to be able to see. All right. The next one was in the printing press business. All right. The next one was, the distillery process for whiskey. And it's like, thank you very much. So the point I'm trying to get to on this is that we've got a long history of inventors in America, all right, that were doing average everyday things. They had a business. And I always tell people, it's like, the best inventions are the ones where it's a better way of doing what you're working at. Are you an expert in the field of this? Well, an expert doesn't mean that the original founder of technology in it, but that you work in it and that you know what's going on in that industry. Are you a pet groomer? Well, that makes you an expert in pet grooming. Is this something you're an auto mechanic and you come up with a new tool? Those are the things that we look at. Do you work in the field that you're inventing in? If you are a homemaker and you are trying to invent a house that is going to live off the grid, probably not going to happen, because there's a lot of intellectual property out there that already deals with this, and you are not an expert and probably never took a physics class. So be careful. Stay within what you know. Just like our original inventors did. They worked with a printing press and they did a better one. If you are wonderful in the kitchen, come up with a better way to peel a carrot. Simple things. There's always a way to make it better. So as we get into this season now of making New Year's resolutions, right? Make your New Year's resolution to kind of get out of the fear factor. If you find yourself in one of the 4 categories, which is not enough money, no home support, you don't have any idea how to do it, or you just don't want to rock your boat, well, let's rock the boat. Now is the time to rock the boat. You know what? I bet you there were a lot of inventors that came over on those ships back in the day, and they had a lot of inventions on how to be making ship travel better when the boat started to rock, because you know what? It did. And they came up with better ways to do it. So come up with a better way to do something. All right, make your New Year's resolution to get out of your fear factor. Archimedes' offspring and the Inventor Lady are there to help you. We make the landing softer. We stop the boat from rocking. We help you in all 4 of those fear factor categories to make progress. So get your search done before the end of the year so that by the time the first of the year rolls around, you know what you can do. Find out what you can do and then make it part of your New Year's resolution. I'm sure we'll talk about that more coming up over the next few weeks, but now's the time. Get off your duff. No more fear factors. My name is Rita Crompton. I am the Inventor Lady, and we're here to help you steady the boat.